So now we're doing FreeCodeCamp Legacy Python for everybody. Iterations, more patterns, exercise. All right. So let's get to it.
Welcome.
Ooh, it's a little loud there, Mr. Chucky. Remember, I took his doctor away yesterday, or in the last video. He's no longer Doctor, he's Mr. Chuck. So let's redo this. All right. So press, so once you push pause, press left arrow key once, then right arrow key 2 times to get to the exercise. All right. So we're on exercise 1 here. We're going to write a program which repeatedly reads numbers until the user enters done. Once done is entered, we're going to print out the total, count, and average of the numbers. If the user enters anything other than a number, we're going to detect their mistake using the try and accept structure, whatever, and print an error message and skip to the next number. Gotcha. So we're going to enter a number 4, and this is how the program's going to run. Enter a number 4, 5, whatever, bad data, invalid input, enter a number 7, and then done, and it gives us the total, the count, and the average, right? So for this, let's start off by opening up our text editor. All right, we got that. And let's also open up our notes because it's been a while since we've done a try thing. Let's make the notes real big so we can come down here and let's see, conditional execution. I should remember. Okay, so it's in chapter 3 right here, conditional execution, and it's around the middle of it, almost to the end of it, like right before the summary of chapter 3. We got the try and accepts, all right? So we remember the sample try and accept, it's going to be like raw string, input a number, enter a number, whatever, and then we'll say eval equals int raw string, and if it doesn't work, we'll do something. Anyway, we'll get to that. All right, so let's start off, let's continue by opening up a new file, right? Do that, Python right here, how about that? And let's save it before we get going. Let's file, save as, all right? Let's go to the Python 4, the py4e, right? So I saved it on desktop, wherever you got it. Go to there. All right, so now we're right here. Let's do a copy of this one, Control-C, Control-V, and let's change it up to 0501. All right, open it up. Let's get rid of this and make it exercise 01 like this, EX01. Boom, save it, and there we go. All right, so now that we've got that going on, let's come back over to Mr. Chuck and see what we're going to do. All right, so now let's like write comments to say what we're going to do. So we're going to write a program that reads numbers until a user enters done. All right, so let's do this right here. And put it, well, I guess that doesn't matter. Anyway, so let's come down here, open this up, and let's do some comments, right? So let's have a hashtag. That should be good. So the first thing we're going to do, what did it say? If user enters done, finish the program. All right, that's the first thing. What else do we have to do? All right, let's get this over here. All right. So once done is entered, we're going to print out the total, count, and average of the numbers, right? So once done is entered, print sum, count, and average. All right. So on the next line, what are we going to do? There's some other stuff. If anything other than a number, detect using try and accept, and then print error message. All right. So anything other than done or a number prints error message. And then what else are we going to do? What else did it say to do? I forgot. And then we're going to use try and accept to print an error number, error message skip. Prints error message and skips. Check. Let's move this one down and come over here. Let's say check if input is a number using try accept. All right. And then blah, blah, blah. All right. All right. So that's good. So there we go. So to do this, let's start off by thinking. Okay. So we know we're going to need a sum. All right. We're going to have an initial value of 0 for sum, and we're going to need an initial value for 0 for count. So let's start with those. Let's say sum equals 0 and count equals 0. All right. Great. So we're done there. So remember the thing said while, all right? There was a little hint in there. Write a program and it reads this until that. No, it didn't say while, but we're going to use a while loop for this anyway, because we're going to have to keep going over and over and over again, right? So let's come back over here. So for this one, what we're going to do, and I don't know what Mr. Chuck did yet, but what old Chuck, I don't remember his last name, did yet, but vigilance, it was something. It was some real word. Anyway, I don't want to think about it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start off by saying while true, right? Because we're going to have to check to see, we're going to check to see if the number is a number, and we're going to break out of it once we find it done, right? So we'll say while true, like this. And then we're going to start off by doing the little input thing like we've done in the notes, right? So we'll say number equals input, right? And then we're going to say inside the input, enter a number or done. And then let's make these single quotes so we can use double quotes inside it. So let's do single quotes and let's say enter a number or done if finished. All right. So we've got that. Oh yeah, we got to change this true to capital true. Boom. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to break out of the thing if it gives us a done. So we're going to say if number double equals done, like that. What we're going to do is we're going to say break. All right. So now we've broken out of the thing. We've taken care of that. All right. Of the one's done is finishes the program, whatever. So let's actually take this. Let's do a control X. Yeah, that'll work. And let's drop the comment right here. How about that? If user enters done, finish the program, right? There we go. So that's good. Let's come down here, and we're still inside of the while loop. The while loop. Anyway. All right, whatever. All right, so what we're going to do here, after that, we're going to do the try thing, right? And we just saw the try thing in the notes, so we don't have to blind ourselves again with that white screen, with the white, whatever it is, notepad screen. So we're going to say try here, and we'll say, we'll do the thing like it said eval on that one. I don't know, pull it up. We'll say check equals, and then we'll say int number, right? So this is going to kill two birds with one stone. It's not only going to turn the string that the input is into a number, but if it's not a number, we can go to the next thing, right? So now after we do the check to make sure that that number is an integer or a number, whatever, we're going to do count, and then we're going to say that equals count plus 1, right? And then we're going to say sum now equals check equals sum plus check. All right. So we're adding 1 to the count, and then we're also adding the number that has been turned into an integer to the sum, right? So we got that. And let's do the except now, right? So let's come down here. Let's say except. And what we're going to do here is we'll print out the error message, right? So let's get this. Let's get this right here. Copy that. Drop it here. I'm just going to make a copy of this. Delete it. Drop that there. Actually, let's drop this here. Let's drop this down. Let's bring these back. I don't know. We'll figure out what the coolest way is later. All right, so we got the try here. Now we're going to do the except. And we'll say except, we'll do the print statement. And we'll say, try again, dummy. Try again, cool guy. Try again, cool guy. How about that? Yeah, how about that? And then we'll do a continue at the same time, right? Continue. Remember, there's break, and then the continue continues into the iteration. It does another iteration right here. So that should be good here for the while loop right there. So let's come down here and let's print. And let's print some words. Let's say sum. Let's say total. And then we'll say comma sum. All right. And then we'll do comma. We'll say another thing. We'll say count. We'll say number of numbers. All right. For the count. And then we'll say count like that. And then we'll do something like this. We'll say average. No. We'll print out average. And then we'll say average. That's not what it was. We'll say sum divided by count. Remember, we just want integers in this. At least I do. I just want integers showing up on this so we don't have the little fiasco like we had on the last video. All right, let's do this and say int like that. So now it gives us an integer. Actually, let's do round. We haven't covered round, but I typed if you do round like this, it'll just round the number to the nearest whole number, the nearest integer. All right, so this should work. Let's press Control S to save it. And now let's open this thing up. Let's open up our, what's the thing called? Let's go over here and say Reveal in File Explorer. Let's put Shift Alt R. No, that's not what it said. Reveal Shift Alt R. Did that not work? Whatever. Let's try it again, but this time not. There we go. All right, so let's come here, go into this little line right here and say CMD. Boom. Let's go over here and say tab to get to this. Let's press home, Python. Come on. Work. Enter a number or done and finished. 3. Let's put a space in there. We're crying out loud. Let's put done. Looks so stupid. Okay, great. Let's put a space right here. Control S. All right. Let's do the thing again. Let's open up the command prompt, run it again. There we go. It looks a little bit better. 3, 4, 5, 6. Done. There we go. Looks good. Let's put these on their own lines though. So let's come over here because let's do it. Okay. So to skip to a new line, we're going to do the escape character right here. I don't know if we went over escape characters, but you put / whenever you want to escape characters like this in. So this escape character in is going to give us a new line right there. And then we'll put in front of this average here, escape character in like that. Let's do a Control S. Let's come back over to the command prompt, run it again. 4, 5, 6, 7. Done. And look at that, they're all on their own lines. Let's put a escape character in right there. We could go forever trying to get this thing formatted the way we wanted it. When I say we, I mean I. and just assuming you're just like me. Let's do it again in the command prompt one more time. 4, 5, 6, 7. Done. That looks slick, doesn't it? We could do all kinds of other stuff to make it look even slicker, but that's slick enough for right now. All right. So it looks like it works, except for there's one problem, believe it or not. Watch this. Let's just put done because we're finished. We didn't have a... Uh-oh. Trace back. File, blah, blah, blah. Line 23. This one here. Division by 0. That sounds like a pretty real error, right? So let's do a if statement to fix this one, right? So let's come over here. If count is greater than 0, we'll do this thing right here. So bring this back 1, go down 1, press home, tab it over, press end, press enter, bring it back 1. Else, you got to enter, let's say print. You gotta enter some numbers. Genius. Right. And there we go. Let's try it one more time with feeling. Done. You gotta enter numbers, some numbers, genius. All right, let's put some letters in there. Try again, cool guy. But with numbers. Numbers this time. All right, save it. You can put all your attitude you ever want in this stuff. Let's put done, and then let's run it again with some blah, blah, blah. Try getting cool guy, but with numbers this time. There we go. Actually, you know what? Let's do this too while we're at it. A /in and a /in afterwards. All right. And then let's do this. Instead of this little space here, let's do a /. Let's do a \in and save it and now let's see what it looks like. Done. All right, let's try it again. Oh, look, it puts it on a new line too. Let's do it with a /in in front of it so it doesn't look so bunched together. Whoops, not like that. Control S, and then let's come back over here. Done. Run it. Looking smooth, looking slick. 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't like that. Let's take this one out. Let's take this one out of here. Control S. Sorry for the long video. Done. Try it again. 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't like that either. I liked it when we had the space better. Done. All right, let's do the space. Get rid of this in. Trial and error, right? That's how we do it. Control S one more time, and then let's go watch Mr. Severance. That's his name. Severance Pay. 6, 7, 2, 1. Doesn't matter. Done. Looks fantastic. All right, so that's enough of that. Looks great. Let's see what Mr. Chuck has to say about that.
Is in chapter 5.
Whoa.
Hello and welcome to Python for everybody. I'm doing a worked example. My name is Charles Severance and I'm the instructor for the class. And the worked example that we're going to work on right now is in chapter 5 and it is exercise 1. We're going to repeat asking for a number until the word done is entered. And then we're going to print the total, and then we're going to print the count, and then we're going to print the average at the end, and we're going to enter some numbers, and then we've got to do some error checking. And we're going to keep on going. So we'll ignore this. We'll just say invalid input, and then we're going to ignore it. So I'm going to start from scratch. I'm going to write I'll start my terminal, start some Atom. And so I've opened the py4e folder, and that's kind of cool because now I can do things like say new folder, and
we'll do that next time.
An exercise 0501, and then go into exercise 0501 and say file, new file, and then say file, save as, and put it in exercise 0501, and then name the file ex0501.py. I'm going to start from scratch on this one instead of adapting another piece of code. I'll say print 5. Then I'm going to do this because now I need to get to the point where I'm in the same folder in this terminal window. CD desktop.
Got to remember to do that too.
EX. I can string these together. And there I am. And I say Python 3 EX. And there I go. Okay, so I'm in good shape. So there's,
because I mean, like doing it like that, if you think about it, it would probably save a lot of time. Like if you just did some kind of mistake, you know, I mean, it's better to do a 5 second, a 10 second, a 15 second, 30 second little check, error check, instead of having to go through and try to figure out what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to try to remember to do this. We need to all try to remember to do that little thing because, you know, better safe than sorry, especially when it comes to work.
A couple things right now, and we're going to do the total, count, and average. And so this is just a basic pattern where we're going to have, we're going to need a iteration variable for the count. I'll call that num. We start that at 0. And then tot. And I'll start that at 0.0. So that's the running count and the running total.
I prefer whole words, full words, but do it how you want to do it. I think full words are better.
Write a loop. And I'm going to write this as an infinite loop, while true, with colon, and then I'll indent. And I'll prompt for a string. And remember, input gives us a string. So I'm going to call this sval equals input enter a number, colon, space. I'm going to deal with the try and accept later, but you can just kind of know that the floating point value that...
I remember. Let's come back to the code. All right. We should do this stuff. Once done is entered, print this stuff out. So let's control X on that. Let's come over here. And then let's do // also make sure count is greater than 0. All right. Anything other than num skips. So let's take this one right here, control X, and on top of this accept, we'll drop that right there. And that should be better. Let's control S, and we know it's going to run. We just messed up. We just messed with the, you know what, let's run it again anyway. Why not? Why not? 4, 5, 6, 7. Done. Looks good. All right. So let's get back to the video. Hold on. Here.
What we're going to do is sometimes this little bit of code will fail. I'm just going to take the string value here, sval. This input returns us a string, and now I'm going to convert that to a float. I'm going to say print fval, so I can print that out. And then I'm going to do the num equals num plus 1, and tot equals tot plus fval. Now, I do need to deal with the situation where I'm entering the word done. Now, we want to check that before we convert it to a float, because done, well, we can run this. It's an infinite loop, but it'll only run a little bit. Won't cause us too much problem. If I run Python, let me drag this over here, and I go 1, 2, 3, and if I put in something bad, it's running. I don't have a way to get out. But you can see that, you know, it blew up on line 5. It blew up right here on line 5. So what we want to do is we want it to say, you know, 1, 2, 3, done. But we want it to detect that we've typed in done. So here we'll just say if the string value that I got back from input is double equal, quote, done, quote, break. So that basically will break us out. And now print all done. I should be using single quotes here. Too much Java coding. Print all done.
True.
Then I'm going to say print. What do I want to print? The total, the num, and then tote, comma num, comma tote over num. Now we got to be careful because we don't want to divide by 0, but that'll get us sort of a ways. So this is going to run, it's going to read these things, it's going to accumulate here. This is the accumulator pattern. This is a counter pattern where we're adding 1 to a current variable, and accumulator pattern where we're adding a value to it. So now we should be able to see the done. 4, 5, and 6, and then done. And the total of 4 plus 5 plus 6 is 15. The number is 3 and the average is 5. And so that's really good. The all done prints out. I just did that for yucks, and you can see the value that's coming out. So that's in pretty good shape. So I'm going to comment this out and comment that out. So this is pretty good. It works just the way we want it to work. 4, 5, 6. But if we do something other than we're done, then we're going to blow up in this float. And so this is where we're going to have to do a try and except, because we just know that this line, line 7 is the danger zone. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put a try in here, and then we're going to indent the part of code that seems strange, and then we're going to have some except code. And the first thing we have to do in the except code is print out the word invalid input. Come back. Print invalid input.
Let's change up our code. Let's change it up. Let's do it float, because what if they enter a decimal, right? Even though we are going to be rounding, whatever. Just in case, all right? So let's go over here and let's change up our input to float. Float right here. All right. And Control S, and there we go. Let's get back to the video. The video I said. All right, let's go.
Now, just like in an earlier example, we have to do something here to make sure it doesn't just keep on going, because fval doesn't work. We're not going to see the error message that would be the traceback here on line 9. We're going to run here, but we still don't want to add, because fval will be so this is where we can use the continue. So in this code, we're using both the break to say if I'm all done break, and if I have a problem, I'll print a message out, and then I'll say continue. So the continue basically says go back up to the top. So that is how, when we see enter some bad data, we print an invalid input, and without adding anything new, you don't really see it here, without adding anything new, you go back up to the top and enter a second thing. So now, if everything is right, I should be able to type bad input. 4, 5, 6, bad input, done. And I have a total of 15 good. And 3 items, and the average is 5.0. So there we go. That's what we're going to get, and that roughly achieves this same thing. And it's a combination of a loop with a exit mechanism. We have some sanity checking of our input, some making sure that we have some valid input, and we catch it, and we use continue to loop back up to run the next iteration of the loop. And we have an accumulator pattern, and then we can use the accumulated data to print what we want to print.
All right.
So I hope that this has been useful to you.
It was.
Exercise 5.1 for Python for everybody.
All right. So there we go. So it looked pretty much the same as the one we did. Let's look at it. Check it one more time. So yeah, it looks pretty much the same as the one we did here. I don't like how, let's put some spaces in there. That looks good. I guess. All right. So that looks good. Let's save it again. So there we go. Pretty much looks exactly the same as this one. No real differences other than, you know, putting a little attitude in it. Other than that, there we go. So let's go back over to this thing, all right? Get rid of this. See ya. All right, so now we're on to this little thing. Which of these evaluates to false? 0 equals 0.0. That'll be good. 0 is, this will be false for sure. 0 is not. This is, I don't think this will do anything, honestly. I think this will give us an error because 0 can't be a variable name, but whatever. I'm pretty sure it's this one. Let's see. All right. So there we go. That's the end of that. Now we're on to the next one, strings in Python. And we'll see you next time.